Okay, here we are today on May 18th, 2012, and I'm sitting here with Bud and Carol Kerr, and they've had a lovely showing of their gardens today from their community here in Bowie. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and we'll just go from there and have fun this morning on this beautiful day. So,
Good morning, Nancy. I'm Bud Kerr, as you well know, and 80 years old. Last birthday, April the 20th. Didn't think I'd make it this far, but somehow we have. A little dirt under the fingernails from the garden tour today, and I had the great help of my wife, Carol. Carol, tell us about you. Who are you?
I'm
who are you, Carol?
I'm the little housewife with the apron on that makes the cookies and cakes from the garden. Yes, we did have a lovely tour today. We've had a beautiful day, nice weather, and had about 20 people walking through the yard looking at all the vegetables and fruits that we grow.
Great, great. And how long have you all lived here in Bowie?
45 years.
45 years, I would say.
And really, originally from Maryland, went to South Carolina when I worked for the USDA, which retired from USDA 17 years ago after almost 40 years. And so we've been here since 1967.
Tell us about, didn't you used to have a farm up in...
Still have a farm, about 15 acres on the Beltway in Baltimore. It was not in the sense of a farm of row crops, but we had strawberries, 3 or 4 acres of strawberries, 860 some peach trees, and had the first commercial planting of thornless blackberries in the state of Maryland. That was in 1967.
Wow, wow. And how long have you been here in Bowie?
In Bowie, we've been here 45 years. The farm was a result of moving to Bowie from Clemson, South Carolina with the USDA. The idea I'd be here 6 months and then go to Athens, Georgia. Unfortunately, that deal fell through. I was renting this house, and it was such a good deal. We bought this 15 acres in the Beltway and went to a pick-your-own operation of fruit trees, peaches, strawberries, and blackberries. We ran that for 20-some years, enough to give me Social Security, which I now enjoy.
Great, great. And Carol, you're a part of all this farming?
And this farm that we had, we operated with Bud and me and our 2 children, Tommy and Susan. They worked up on the farm, they learned how to pick, and they learned how to sell. Tommy made signs advertising the business. Susan ate lots of berries, and it was a good experience for them meeting the public.
Right, right. And that's a nice focus for your family
Yeah.
as well. Mm-hmm. Good. And did you grow up with farming?
I grew up in Baltimore City in a row house. Loved it. And I met Bud and we married, and ever since we've lived in kind of a semi-rural area. And now I wouldn't trade the 1 acre that we have, the privacy and the freedom we have.
Great,
And
great.
since Bud has retired, it's been a wonderful outlet for him. He likes working outside, and we both enjoy the garden and the fruits of his labor.
Great. Okay, and how long have you all been married?
Well, I have to think about it, but it's last
50 years.
good thing long enough. 50 years, that's right. So that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Still hanging in there.
Okay. And it worked well with a city girl and a country boy?
She had some tricks to learn. I had many tricks to learn about.
It's a learning experience, as any marriage for 50
Right.
years.
Right. And how many...
But we both like to eat. That helps. We have that in common, definitely.
Oh, very good. Very
As
good.
far as the product of the marriage, there are 2 children, 1 boy, 1 girl, no other flavors, so we say that's enough. And so now we're blessed with 6 grandchildren,
Oh,
5 boys, 1 girl. Thank goodness for 1 girl. And they're all very active in sports and school. And our respective in-law, son-in-law, and daughter-in-law, they're like our own children. They're wonderful.
Oh, that's great.
So it's been a very good life.
And this garden, semi-farm, has not only been growing vegetables. We raised bees. We had a beehive here. We extracted the honey and had our own honey.
Oh, how exciting.
We had fruit trees that we made wine Our children were in 4-H, and they used these gardens as projects for their 4-H projects.
Now, I met you both through the Bowie Seniors Fitness Program. And let's see, how long have you been coming now?
7 years for me, Nancy. It all started when my doctor said, yeah, you get a lot of exercise in the garden, because I told him that I exercise all the time, mowing lawn, pulling weeds, etc., etc. And he said, oh, that's very good, but you need a regular program to really make sure that you're getting all your joints and all your areas of need exercised. And so there was a piece in the paper that said that the University of Illinois and Holy Cross Hospital, I think it was, would have a program at Bowie, free for seniors. And suddenly I qualified at 55 or 65, long year ago, many years ago, and I went. And most important, I could always stand on one leg and pick up my leg and put my socks on and put a shoe on. I had gotten to the point where I couldn't do that. And I went to the program, and I kind of, met a lot of new people, and the regularity of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But after 3 or 4 months, I found myself one morning picking up my leg and putting my shoe on and sock, and I said, wow, how about that? Something's working. And so I've been a regular for about the last 7 years, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's a real family get-together of friends and wonderful lifetime friends now.
That's great. And you, Carol?
I feel that this exercise program is essential in addition to all our activities. I was a volleyball player until maybe 10 years, 20 years ago, but I love sports, and then my knees got bad, and I worked my way through that and some ankle injuries with physical therapy. I'm a great fan of physical therapy, and the exercise is very much a part of that. So now I enjoy it, and it's important that the group we're with is very congenial, and we actually look forward and miss it when we don't come.
Great, great. So what do you think are the greatest benefits that you get from doing exercise? You basically come to 3 days a week.
It helps my diabetes. It helps me maintain a low blood sugar, definitely, as much as the diet.
Great, great.
I think it teaches a responsibility, that you acquire that responsibility, that your family of needs, namely the knees, the aches, the pains, the elbows, the neck, they need that flexibility. They need the strengthening of body that you've had a lifetime of doing, then you just don't stop. But now these little 5-pound weights, they're a very much needed part of my regimentation of life.
Right.
That you use and exercise. And I think the biggest one that surprised me was that damn red ball. I kind of poo-pooed it at first, but that can really work you. And,
Now, what do you mean by the red ball?
well, it's a big red ball, that's
Like the
about the size of a
A
yard.
very large tomato.
A very huge, humongous tomato. But anyway, to lay on that and have your backbone just kind of stretch and crack, snap and pop like Rice Krispies, it makes it feel so good, and you feel better doing it. And over the years, I found that when I don't go to exercise, I feel like, hey, I've let myself down, and I don't feel as well. And when I finally get back to it, I hurt a little bit, but a couple times I'm feeling much better, and
So you're
it's a
saying
wonderful
it
thing.
affects your attitude as
Yeah,
well.
attitude. Yeah, precisely. If you don't go, you feel guilty, and you're going to feel better if you do those exercises.
Now, Bud, you just recently have gone through knee surgery.
Absolutely. I gimped around for many years and persevered with a knee that really hurt when you walked. I mean, I just couldn't do the walk. And in fact, I was in a Broadway play, and they've had dancing in there. Could not do that. But once I had the knee replacement, the best thing about that was that I came out of surgery, and within 24 hours, I could extend the leg. I had bending in the leg, all because my thigh muscles my exercise program I'd been in, my doctor said, hey, normally we take a patient, it takes a month to 6 weeks to 2 months to get them in shape for surgery. He said, you're unbelievable. You're in great shape to coming in here. He put
Great.
ASP on mine, and we said as soon as possible. I was in a week after I visited him and had surgery.
That's great. That's great. And I know you came back to class. It seemed like right away. I know there was some
As soon as
time, but
possible.
yeah, it was.
Right.
You came back quickly.
And then I advise it for anybody, but the main thing, when you have surgery, knee surgery, or thigh surgery, hip surgery, make sure that you have good exercise program, build those muscles up before you undertake the surgery.
Great. Great.
And after the surgery, sustain that by exercise.
Right. Carol, let me ask you, what about the days that you just don't feel like doing much and
I think it's good to have an exercise partner.
okay.
Even when I was just walking, my friend would call, "Are you coming today?" And if I hadn't planned to, okay. So you help each other.
Great. Great.
And I also think, in addition to the exercising your body and making you flexible and helping your balance is good because you worry about falls. I think it's good to keep everything moving as physically as well as mentally. And I think exercise helps you mentally.
Well, you know I believe in that, so that's
Very, very much more alert, and I think it's good to be active and involved in as many things as you can.
that's great. So let me ask both of you, what are changes that have come about as you're moving into some elder years, and just what's important in your life now?
Same as most older people, I think. I hold on to the railing when I go down the steps. I don't stand on one foot and hop around as much. You move more slowly.
Yeah, I think things are a slower
Think about
pace.
falling.
Slower pace.
But that's in retirement because you have the time. You do things
Right.
slower.
Right.
As long as you're feeling well, life is good. It's the illness that ages you.
But really, you hear so much about falls, and I realize now the most important part is maintaining your ability to move, to walk. If you don't walk, you're really nothing but a rock in a hard place, and nobody's going to move you. You got to move yourself. So as long as you can keep those wheels working, that's critical.
Now, and I know, especially before your surgery, that some days it was tough to move,
Oh,
and
terrible.
but you came anyway. What do
Yeah.
you attribute that to?
Well, perseverance, I guess, but yeah, yeah. Before that knee, I just could not walk. There were many days I just didn't walk. I mean, you, as you well know, you would take your walk every day. I wouldn't go on those walks.
Right.
But Nancy always said, do what you can. If you can't do everything.
This was important.
That's exercise what you can. You may not be able to do it all.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a very important thing.
Great. Great.
And the little things too, as simple as the finger exercises, are so important. I mean, in the garden out here, I use these all the time, picking strawberries. Man, that thumbnail is very important. And really, if that thumb doesn't bend, you can't pick strawberries, or lima beans, or even tomatoes by the handful. So the flexibility of your appendages are such a critical part of the exercise program. People don't realize it. It's the same thing. I guess if you're young, and necking too would be important for a teenager, but I don't feel that is important anymore.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Let's see. What brings joy to your life these days?
Probably our grandchildren.
Yep, that would probably be it. And being able to keep up with them is a big thing, especially now as they come through the teenage years, and they can throw the ball a heck of a lot harder than I can. There was a time I'd catch, and they would have a heck of a time catching, and I'd be throwing to them. Now they throw hard, and I have a heck of a time catching. So, yeah, they bring a lot of joy to your
It's
life.
really fun to observe how our children are growing and raising their children as we raise them. And then we see the grandchildren going through different stages of life, going into puberty, the teenage years, and watching how they handle the problems that we did. And, of course, they do things that are fun. they are always playing games. Right now we go to a lot of lacrosse games, and next time it'll be something else
Basketball.
games.
So you're staying very actively involved in their lives as well.
What is the word? We live vicariously through our children.
Right.
That's the right word.
Right.
Well, there's-
You can't do it physically, but you hear about it. It keeps your mind active and interested in different things. And there's successes and failures in school and
Right.
different things.
And I'm sure they love having you all there.
I think we
For-
provide a stability. I think grandparents provide a stability that is absent in a lot of families.
Right.
We're here. We're in the area. So
Well, there's an old saying that my mother used, that her mother used to her, and I use for our children. It says, and it deals with agriculture. It says, as the old cocks crow, the young ones learn. Think about that. It's a lot of truth. There are things that I did, my children do, and now I see my grandchildren doing those same things. So, truly, as the old cocks crow, the young ones learn. So, they say us do exercise. These guys do exercise. They get 6-packs already that they don't even know they're doing exercise, but they are.
6-pack abs.
6-pack abs.
And are they aware of you all putting the time in
Oh,
for
yes,
very
they're
much,
very proud
very
of us
much.
doing
in
that.
In fact, the most interesting thing, the 15-year-old playing football, 6'3", size 15 foot or whatever it is, they were exercising for football, lying flat out, raising both legs up.
Leg lifts.
Leg lifts. He hates to do that. I said, heck, that's nothing to that. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's hard to do
Well,
it.
let me see you do it, Papa.
Let me see you do it. So I went down and promptly did it for about a minute of them. Blew him away.
They're surprised when we are capable.
Right.
Yes, they're very happy we do these things.
Right.
They'd love to get hold of my exercise ball.
And I think this is just such great role modeling that they see
Yeah.
exercise
Oh,
is a
yeah.
part of life
It
for
is.
forever.
Yeah.
We have children, 2 children and 6 grandchildren, who are so physically active. We don't know where those children are who are sedentary.
Yeah.
Our daughter said, I have to pay my children to watch TV.
Yeah.
They're never still. They're
Wow.
always out bouncing a ball, running, skipping, playing, moving. It's just, our whole family is very active, so
That's great.
maybe it runs in the family.
Now, we were talking earlier, and you're also active in your community with your garden club, and I think you sing and have been
Yeah.
a performing artist.
Well, sometimes we have done that, but I guess even at the church, I sing the lead bass in the church choir. I also cut the lawn of the church and do a lot of pruning and all those good things. So there's
I lead a
always an
senior
activity.
program at church for seniors in the community. We have a monthly luncheon. I do a program there.
Great, great. So you think then for an active, healthy lifestyle into your 70s and 80s includes,
I was,
Physical and mental activity constantly.
yeah. Read the paper daily.
Keep up with.
Don't sit behind and watch TV. Yeah, watch the news and the weather to find out what's going to happen. But then beyond that, stay out in the community and stay active and be alert to the changes that are around you. And the heck with the 80s, let's talk about the 90s. And, Carol's father lived to be 99 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
After he hit 90, he said, it's pretty good. I think I'll go for 100. Well, he almost made it.
wow,
But,
He took his exercise bike to the nursing home with him and was in his apartment.
oh, that's great.
Not the nursing home. He was in an independent living apartment, but not the
Right.
China closet. He took his exercise bike. Every single morning he exercised, and he said it wasn't until then that he could take his morning walk. So it was important to him too.
Wow. So you're passing it on into the genes here now.
Absolutely.
This is great.
Well,
Our
I
children-
think it's also contact with other people. You need to
Oh, yeah.
converse and listen to what's going on. You just can't sit and watch TV.
Right. Well, this has been great, and I thank you both for being here and sharing your lovely home here. I think we will go out